It all started on a bright Saturday morning when HOA Karen, self-appointed community ambassador, decided my property looked a little too quiet for her taste. Apparently, in her eyes, a sprawling ranch with grazing buffalo was a public attraction just waiting for her VIP oversight. Without asking, she waltzed through my driveway, past the private property, keep out signs, and reached my main gate. What she didn't realize was that this gate wasn't your average fence barrier. It was part of an automated system I designed to manage every animal on the property, including my herd of buffalo. Karen, of course, had no idea. She marched up to the keypad, pushed a few buttons, and the gate swung open as if on cue. In her mind, she was orchestrating a harmless safari tour for her HOA friends, imagining herself as some benevolent wildlife curator. In reality, the gate system was linked to my route programming for the animals. Every movement, every pasture rotation, every feeding schedule was automated. And as soon as the gate opened without my authorization, it triggered a cascade of events I had carefully designed to prevent accidents. But she hadn't read the instructions. The buffalo, sensing an opportunity for adventure, or perhaps just reacting to the gate opening at an odd time, bolted. A dozen massive creatures thundered across the property like a rolling wall of muscle and fur. Karen, frozen in shock, was staring at them with her phone raised, probably hoping for a viral video moment. Little did she know, the buffalo were following a route I had pre-programmed for emergency scenarios. Every twist, turn, and fallback path had been meticulously mapped by me over years of ranch management. As the herd stormed through the pastures, the buffalo followed the exact detours I had installed for security purposes. One herd member veered toward a side enclosure where I keep temporary gates. Another took the slope leading toward the creek crossing I had reinforced specifically for fast herd movement. Karen, meanwhile, was trying to call 911 and record the chaos at the same time. She tripped over uneven ground and nearly fell face first into the mud as the herd swept past her. I watched from the observation deck, smirking behind my binoculars, knowing exactly where each buffalo would go next. By the time the herd reached the far pasture, all the buffalo had returned safely to their designated holding areas, following the programmed path I had installed for emergencies. Every single one of them accounted for. No injuries, no lost animals. Karen, on the other hand, was stuck in the middle of the pasture with her HOA friends, covered in mud, waving her arms, and yelling something about animal control and property violations. She had no idea that her impulsive action had triggered a perfectly controlled animal movement system that had essentially turned her little adventure into a harmless, albeit chaotic, lesson in ranch management. The best part? Her safari tour had been entirely self-inflicted. The buffalo never left the boundaries of my property. They moved exactly where I wanted them to move. And when she finally stumbled back to the gate, I pressed the override button on my remote. The gate closed with a satisfying thud, leaving Karen on the wrong side, fuming, confused, and entirely powerless. She tried to lecture me about responsibility and community rules, completely unaware that the only reason her precious HOA drama didn't end in disaster was because of my foresight and planning. By the time she left, Karen was muttering about insane animals and ranch owners who think they're gods. While I went back to my morning coffee, enjoying the peaceful sounds of my buffalo grazing safely in the distance. The moral of the story? Never underestimate a rancher who programs his animals. And never, ever try to take charge of wildlife you don't understand, especially when the animals have already been trained to follow your every move. Karen would tell herself she had seen the wild side of ranch life. I would tell myself I had just given her a controlled demonstration of what happens when hubris meets buffalo, and the buffalo always win.